Dinner is a time when we're all supposed to gather around the table and eat together. And you know what? That's exactly what we're doing tonight. With magnetic centerpiece dishes, they're gonna pull everyone around the table for a wonderful time that makes you look like a hero. Why? Because we've got 3 dishes that are show-stoppingly simple and comforting. A lasagna reimagined, a pot pie with biscuits, and a whole roasted chicken with aromatic vegetables. You're gonna be a hero. And the dishes, they'll all be the superstars of the night. Let's get cooking.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
I love lasagna. You love lasagna. But you know what? It's a labor of love. It's an all-day affair, and we don't have that much time in our modern and busy lives. So how can we simplify it for today? By making lasagna roll-ups. It's a little bit easier to make. It's got all the filling heartiness, but the portion sizes are defined. It's so much easier to hold as a leftover. This is a winner. So we're just gonna start with a simple tomato sauce. So we're just gonna crush these tomatoes by hand. Buying the whole peeled is just a way to not spend a penny more and get higher quality tomato. We've got 2 cloves of garlic here. I'm just gonna smash it with the palm of my hand and then give it a little wiggle here to take the t-shirt off. Olive oil, delicious. 2 cloves, kind of get that on the corner there. I always like to salt this right here. I'm looking for spicy. That means I'm going in to the packet drawer. 4 red pepper flakes that will cook in this oil. Oh boy. You should smell the fragrant and fantastic garlic. And once you do, you come in with your tomatoes. Great. So this is gonna simmer off to the side, and now we're gonna get working on our bechamel. Bechamel is just roux plus milk. We start with a roux, which is 2 parts fat to 2 parts flour. So let's come in with some butter. Man, this butter really wants to live, huh? So we'll come in with our flour. So I'm combining my flour with the butter. We wanna just cook all that rawness out of it. Hit it with a little salt. Let's add our milk. So we're gonna just kind of mix it like this. Clump a little bit at first, but you'll work it out. I'm just gonna combine it with our tomato sauce. Look at that viscosity. Combining our tomato sauce with our bechamel. Lovely creamy aroma. So now that our sauce is ready, it's time to prepare the filling. We're gonna use some mushrooms here because they're affordable, they're filling, and it makes this like an accidental vegetarian lasagna. Some onion. Right up to the nub. Leave no bit of allium unsliced. So we'll come into a pan with some oil. You definitely want a wide pan so the moisture can come out faster and it cooks down quicker. Get some salt happening and some pepper, and let's just mix it all together. Water is boiling. Get a little salt in there. Let's throw our sheets in here. Definitely don't break them because it's gonna make it really hard to roll them up, right? You can sort of caress them in. We've got a bowl. We're coming in with ricotta. A ricotta. Parmesan cheese mixed with the ricotta. This is fundamental. Any extra moisture that was in the ricotta is gonna be sort of absorbed by the Parmesan. I got some thawed spinach here. I'm just gonna try to squeeze as much water out of it as I possibly can. Water equals dilution. Dilution equals less flavor. I am combining the mushrooms and the spinach with the cheese. Salt, pepper, combination. Let's see where we're at with salt. Let's check on our lasagna noodles. They don't need to be fully cooked, but they do need to be rollable. We're gonna hit this with just a little bit of olive oil to prevent stickage of the noodles. It is time to ramp up the production line. We're gonna have our rolled up lasagna, more sauce, cheese. That means we've gotta have a base layer of creamy tomato sauce first. Use about half of it on the bottom. Wonderful. We're gonna take a lasagna. We're just gonna put it in 3 little nuggets here. It's gonna help us with the rolling. You see now the noodle gets in there. You get this other little pocket. Gorgeous. Other little pocket. Stuff that in, seam side down. First one. Filling, roll, tail. Insert, boom. Next, flat. Start getting into the groove. Let's groove tonight. Share the sparkle. Na, 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 na. We've got our creamy tomato sauce. We've got our rolled up lasagnas all filled with that delicious, versatile filling. We are now coming on top with some more creamy tomato sauce. See this partially dehydrated mozzarella cheese? This is gonna melt beautifully. Fat side of your box grater. How much? The right amount. Do the lasagna dance. The roll up dance. I I am getting fired.
Check it out. We're gonna bake this till it's ooey gooey and a little crispy on top. By starting the bake with the foil on, we are creating a steam environment which is gonna make sure this cooks all the way through. Obviously, try to find the spot where the roll was. It comes right out. Da, da, da. Are we ready to eat this? No, because we can add free flavor on top. And if you're growing an herb garden, you should do it.
We've got the basil. Got some parsley here.
This looks delicious. It smells delicious. It's only $2.27 a serving.
It is rolled up. We got some creamy deliciousness. There's still some jiggle to the pasta.
Oh, classic. It's creamy and meaty while being secretly vegetarian. And it's a simplified version of lasagna, which means you could make this on a weeknight. This is a dish everyone at your table will love. We've all been there. You're all set up to make dinner and then you realize that you're missing an ingredient. Well, I'm here to help you get dinner on the table without an extra trip to the store. If your recipe calls for cornstarch and your neighbor isn't answering the door, use flour. They're both thickening agents, but you're gonna need twice as much flour to get the same thickening effect. Herb garden looking a little sparse? For every tablespoon of fresh herbs, you're gonna substitute 1 teaspoon of dried leaves or half a teaspoon of ground herbs. Out of sour cream or have a recipe that calls for the fancier cream fraiche? Never fear, yogurt is here. It's got a little extra tang and it's super versatile. That's why I always keep it on hand. And last but certainly not least, what do you do when a recipe calls for wine and you need a sub? If a dish is calling for wine, that means it's looking for acidity and moisture and depth. So a good replacement is gonna have all those qualities. Think about what the wine is trying to achieve in the recipe and then substitute with vinegar plus either a broth or stock or a grape juice or an apple juice. So there, a handful of tips that'll always help you get food on the table. We're making biscuit pot pie. This is a dish that's gonna bring the whole family together. Everyone's gonna be smizing, mouths will be chewing. It's the ultimate one-pot complete dish. We're gonna start with the base. Carrot, onion, celery, garlic. A little mirepoix action, butter. We need some fat, a little bit of oil with that butter. I like to do the little ice skating. Just ice skate it around. Lovely, lovely. Let's get it in. We've got carrots, garlic, celery, onions, flavor building, baby. It smells wonderful already. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. So to give this a little more depth, we're gonna go for a nice woody herb, thyme. I happen to grow it over here in my herb garden. The thyme is such a comforting herb that just gives you this incredible depth. It adds a level of sophistication. Potato. It's gonna give us some nice chunks in the pot pie. The cauliflower is a great cruciferous vegetable that's gonna take on all the flavors that you put in everything else. Building layers of flavor. Yeah, this is hitting all the right notes. This is a great way to eat tons of vegetables without feeling like you're eating tons of vegetables. We've got all kinds of flavor happening right here, right? But a pot pie sort of has this oozy gravy filling. We're gonna make that happen right now. And it starts with flour. Coming in with some all-purpose flour. It's gonna start soaking up liquid milk. Let's thicken this up. Let's add our vegetable broth here. We got a lot of rich flavors. We need something to cut through. The packet drawer saves the day yet again. Mustard Dijon. It's gonna cut. You can see the viscosity and thickness of these bubbles. So now I'm turning off the heat and I'm gonna add my peas and my parsley. A little mix action. Our filling's looking great, so it's time to add a little twist. We're gonna make some biscuits right now. Every good biscuit starts with flour. 1, 2, 3. Baking powder, baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon, salt, olive oil, very satisfying. Some sour cream, richness, and finally some milk. I measure out about 3/4 of a cup there. It has come together into a craggly mess. It's time to get onto our table. Yes. We're just bringing it together as if we're making gnocchi. We don't want to overwork this, but we do want it to stay together. Very nice, Frankie. You're doing such a good job. Stay with it. We need a rolling pin. I don't own one, but I do have a bottle of wine. I'm going to drink you later, but first, I need you to do me a favor. We're gonna roll. And now I've rolled it out to about 1 inch thick. I'm gonna take my biscuit cutter, silver edition. We got 4 biscuits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's recombine this and get some more. We'll just knead it twice. Very gently roll this out. You don't want to overwork it because you want flaky biscuits, and flaky only happens without overworking.
Ha-ha! All right, I did it. Make a little trio in the middle. Should be able to just go around the outside. Optimal spacing. Let's hit these with a little bit of olive oil on top. That's gonna help us get our salt to stick. It's also gonna give us that beautiful golden top, gushing with delicious fatty flavors. Into the oven. Golden perfection! Yes! I think this is gonna bring your whole family together. You can give me a biscuit at any price point. I'm gonna eat it. 79 cents? It's just a win. Let's have the filling first. Comforting, substantial, creamy, delicious. The biscuit. A complete hearty meal because of the flaky biscuits that's actually loaded with vegetables. Everyone's gonna love it. Stay tuned for another delicious meal, but first, a challenge. It's time for a struggle challenge. Let's see what you've got for me today. I really need to learn how to make a decent gravy. Mine is never that great, so help me be a Sunday dinner hero. I'm thinking I'll show you 2 totally different approaches on how to become a Sunday hero with gravy. And that way, depending on the ingredients you have, you can choose your own adventure on how to achieve thick, viscous liquid gold. Let's see what's in the fridge. We've got cheddar cheese. It's butter. We've got some pan drippings here, stock, it's cream, and we got milk. Let's get started. We need a broth or a stock, that's our flavorful liquid, and then we need to thicken it, either with a roux or with cornstarch. We're gonna do both right now. Let's start with a traditional gravy. We've got fat, we've got flour. We wanna mix these together and make sure there are no lumps. We're just gonna keep adding flour till we get there. There we go, that's getting pretty pasty. See the trails, how long they stay? Very nice. Let's add our broth to our thickener. Start with a small amount here. Bring it to a boil. Look at how quickly that got thick. When I first put that in, didn't look thick at all, right? No lumps, nice and thick. You can see the viscosity as my whisk goes through it. Here is the thickness of our gravy. When I do that, you can see. Oh, we're almost there. Boom, and that's gonna be a Sunday gravy. Pretty easy, right? All right, let's try a totally different method of making gravy by adding thickener to the broth rather than the other way around. This is the cornstarch method. We're gonna start with stock. We're gonna drop it. We add some cornstarch to a bowl just like this. We need about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch for every 2 cups of liquid that it's going into. It can be broth, it can be water, a little bit of broth and some drippings. Oh, you can see it already. The way the bubbles just look all viscous. That is looking very, very gravy-like. All right, we're up to a let's look at the thickness, yeah? So here it is on the back of the spoon. It is thick, but it's a different kind of thick. Let's add some herbs to try to infuse some depth to the herb garden. We're definitely gonna go with things that are more robust. We're looking at thyme. Sage is great. Take 1 or 2 of those. Rosemary, fantastic. If we just throw these in, it's gonna completely ruin that beautiful smooth texture. So I propose a bouquet garni, or a little satchel of herbs. Let's just steep that right in there. It is still highly retrievable. So now that can simmer for just 5 minutes or so. Let's give this a taste now. Put some salt. We've got our satchel of herbs infusing. Wow, really great. The rosemary, the sage, and the thyme are so clear because they've only been steeping for a little while. Like, the longer I do this, the more they'll get muted, you know? Right now, they're boom, right up here. I love it, so let's pull it. Our 2 gravies are completely different. We gotta try these out on some food. Woo! Perfect timing! Traditional gravy. Here we go. Look at what that looks like, yeah? See how it is on the potatoes? You can see how it is on the chicken. And our cornstarch gravy. Beautiful. Looking very elegant as well. The cornstarch is more translucent, and I'm able to see this gorgeously browned chicken skin. It's got that gloss we were talking about. Whereas the roux one, because it's more opaque in color, I can't see that gorgeous skin anymore. On less interesting cuts of meat, this makes sense because you're not hiding anything. But for something that's amazing, you want the color to shine through, the cornstarch is the way to go. I'm gonna give these both a 9 on looks. Each is holding like glue to the protein upon which they were poured. Let's take a little piece of chicken here, see what's going on. I'm gonna try and get a pretty dry spot, and we're gonna use the gravy to lube it up. Holding on beautifully. Perfect. And the cornstarch, it's got a gelatin thing happening. Do you see what I'm talking about? Oh, let's just do this one more time for good luck.
For this particular situation, the roux is the winner. The gravy just tastes more luxurious. You've got to combine the fat and the flour, so the flavor's always gonna be there. With the cornstarch, you can completely omit having the fat. They're pretty close. That's just a little bit better. But if I had this and I didn't have a choice, I'd eat it right up. The blueprint of gravy is really, really simple. You need a flavorful liquid, and then you've got to add a thickener. And there's a couple ways to do that. One is to start with a roux, flour and fat. It could be butter, it could be drippings, it could be lard, whatever. And then you add the liquid to it, wonderful. The other way is you start with the liquid, cornstarch slurry. Each has its place, but for this white meat chicken, the roux is the way to go. Because it's adding fat, it's adding flavor, and it just tastes a little more luxurious on the tongue. That was a fun challenge. Go make non-lumpy gravy in various forms. Roast chicken is super elegant. It can seem like it's sort of a difficult thing to do, but it isn't. So today we'll do roast chicken with vegetables. It's gonna go in the oven and it's gonna come out and go onto the table. And then everyone will surround the chicken like a medieval feast. Oh, we'll feast. One of the things that makes it a lot easier when roasting a chicken is making sure that you prep everything before you start touching the chicken. That way you only have to wash your hands once and you're done. Let's just start with a simple spice mixture here. This is what's gonna go on the outside of the chicken. We're gonna come in with a little bit of smoked paprika. We got onion powder, we got garlic powder. Get that salt in there. Let's get some peppy pep. Some olive oil. This is gonna help all of these stick to the outside of the bird. Mixing that up. Nice. Delicious, and it's only gonna get better. Let's get our vegetables all together. We're gonna start with some garlic. Just take the head and sort of cut through the equator. We're just gonna cut these in half. If they're really big, you could quarter them. Shallots are a cross between onion and garlic. They are highly aromatic. They are burning my eyes. All right, we got our carrots. I think you go smaller pieces this way and then get bigger as it tapers to try to maintain an equidistant to center of each piece, if you will. The really fat pieces here will go like that, and now we'll extend it slightly, and now we'll extend it slightly more. Lemon, acid with chicken, delicious. Let's just quarter this guy. We got some green Castelvetrano olives. For like the non-olive lover, this is the one to use. Nice little bit of meatiness, adding some complexity. Olive oil to bring this all together. Hitting it with salt, we'll hit it with pepper. Not only do we have a lot of colors, but we actually have brightness from the lemon here. These are gonna pick up so much flavor. In order to maximize the amount of flavor we get from the lemon, I'm just gonna poke some holes into this. So we can just kind of go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is the right amount of pokes. Everything's prepped. Now I can start touching the chicken. Let's get some salt inside that chicken. We will put a lemon that has been poked 13 times for luck into the cavity. And we will put 2 beautiful sprigs of rosemary in there. If you just tie up your chicken really simply, it's just gonna make the whole thing cook a little more consistently. And when it comes out of the oven, it's gonna be a little more plump rather than like relaxed and loose, right? Mix that around. You ready to get your hands a little dirty? Get this spice mixture all up on here. Work it in. Flip it around. Very nice. Let's get our vegetables in here. These will be the recipients of all the runoff spices and flavor, while at the same time excreting their flavor and aromatics out towards the chicken. That was super easy. Look at it. It looks amazing, even uncooked. So now I'm gonna wash my hands and then it's going in the oven, and that's where the real magic happens. We got a ripping hot oven.
It's gonna cook for an hour to an hour and a half, or until it's nice and crispy.
You know one of the best ways to avoid having a dry chicken? It's to let it rest so all those juices inside settle. And then when we carve it, they stay inside the meat. Patience. So if you come just to the side of the breastbone and just start cutting down, then you can just curve it a little. Try to follow this bone down and away. And I find that there's always a chunk of meat up here in the front that gets left behind. So really just try to twist the knife there. The breast comes here, and we'll follow this line right here. So let's do the other side. A lot easier to do this with your opposite hand than with like some kind of, crazy carving fork. So now we can cut our little tie, release the legs. I know it's horrible, but you just come in, you find it, the ball joint pops right out, and now you've got a gorgeous thigh leg piece. You can do the same thing with the wings here. I mean, literally, you could just pull it off with your hand. Here we go, right back to our breasts here. Try to keep the skin intact. 3 pieces. Don't push too hard. Maybe 4 pieces. 4 beautiful pieces. Do the same to the other side. And right there. A great way to serve your chicken is on a clean cutting board with the vegetables in a bowl on the cutting board. Oh yeah, get that au jus in there. Come on, look at that. This is Beautiful. So here's one of our garlic clove halves. I just love what happens here. Look at, it just, oh, gorgeous. Let's make a plate of food. I'm going for a little breast and a little thigh. We got some skin on there. Let's get a thigh. I definitely want one of these lemons, and I certainly want some of this garlic. Beautifully caramelized, gorgeous. The olives look fantastic. And I want one of these shallots. This is $2.29 a serving, which is a bargain. And is there any dish that looks and smells more comforting than this one? I don't think there is. Breast and olive. The savory experience is amazing. And this white meat is perfectly cooked through, and it just has this little bit of brightness, which is perfectly balanced by the salty, sweet, and spiced skin. And you get like a 2-for-1 because you've got a complete meal that came out of one pan with vegetables and protein. So the ease going in and the flavor you get out is very much advantageous to the cook. One dish in the oven, comes out, looks amazing, feeds everyone. Come on, so delicious. Today we brought friends and family together around our gorgeous dishes. Each one of them stands alone as a masterpiece forged in the fire of your kitchen. You did it, we did it, and everyone ate it up. Why? Because it was delicious. I hope you make these recipes and they make you the star of supper time. Welcome to Frankie's Corner, where I try to solve your kitchen problems. We had a pot roast this week for dinner. It honestly wasn't very good, but we have a bunch left over. Do you have any tried and true ways to repurpose the meat? I don't want it to go to waste, but I know we won't eat it all the way it tastes now. The two biggest offenders for not great tasting pot roast are that you didn't cook it long enough to break down those fibers and make it amazingly soft, and that you didn't season it enough. Once it's tasting great and has the texture of luxury, you could bake off some pie dough and make a pot pie, literally, with it. You could cook some egg noodles, throw a little red wine in there, and you've got a stroganoff. You could take some tortillas, grab it, fresh herbs, some onion, boom, tacos. Gotta love it.